When you guys are seeking these student athletes, and whether it's international tennis players or golf, or whether it's football players or basketball players and baseball players here in the state, are you guys actively going out and recruiting them? Do you find now that your brand is kind of so well known across the youth athletic, environment that these athletes who seek this level of competition at a young age are finding you? Like, what does that process look like for you guys to build these truly elite teams? You mentioned like a university, though those coaches are out there, but competing against other universities. You guys don't really have competition. If you want to go play on a truly elite baseball, basketball, football team, you guys are in essence the top of the ladder. So like, what does that recruitment / just kids applying to come to IMG look like?
I think, Greg, a lot of what you're saying about where we stand in the pecking order has to do with the investment that's been made over time by, the company to build the brand into the elite brand that it is. I don't know that I totally agree we don't have competition. Like, I think there are other, boarding schools out there that offer high level football, baseball, ice hockey, basketball. They're out there. Like one of our biggest competitors in Florida in basketball is Montverde. I mean, that's a 2-point game every year. They have, elite level players. We compete in all these other sports. But as you can imagine, and you remember this experience from your college experience when you were getting recruited out of Wayne Hills, is coaches do a bulk of that work. And at IMG Academy, the way we're set up, unlike a lot of other places, is we don't have a lone athletic director and coaches. We have an athletic director, and then each sport sort of has its version of its own athletic director.
Yep.
And then you have the coaching staff, the administrative staff beneath them. But assistant coaches are doing a bulk of the recruiting. The answer of like, do you recruit all of them? Does some come to you? It's a mix. When you have thousands of kids that come to camp, 100 of those kids every summer convert into full-time boarding school students.
Wow.
So there's conversion out of camp. There are kids that are legacy. My sister went there. My brother went there. There are relationships, like we have people recruiting in country, in the Far East, in Mexico, in South America. So, we have assets promoting the IMG Academy and building that affinity. So it's a mix, but there is recruiting. The only exception is in Florida, it's not permitted, by state association rules for us to actively recruit. If student athletes in the state of Florida contact us and then go through the application process, that's all above board and that's legit. But there is quite a bit of recruiting that goes on, but it's not exclusively recruiting. A lot of people come to us based on brand and reputation or advocacy from a former teammate or a friend or a brother or a sister. And then we convert quite a few kids out of the camp experience on an annual basis. Like, that's a significant number of kids.
And what age would you say that conversion? I'm fascinated by that. I a couple kids that went to school with my oldest son, he's in 5th grade. A bunch of his buddies came down they actually did 2 weeks. They did a week of football and they did a week of, I want to say, lacrosse maybe. And so they came down and spent 2 weeks and they absolutely loved it. What age do you say traditionally kids enter into your program? Like, is there like a target specific age, or I'm sure it varies amongst the board, but like, is there a specific age where you see the most conversion or the most initial interest in putting their son or daughter into one of your programs?
I'd say it's a little bit of a mix. The thing about, I didn't mention this earlier when I gave you the overview, is 6th grade through 12th grade at the academy. Right. And there's also a postgraduate program in certain sports. So we really are working our tails off to get younger, right? Because you want to have kids for more of the life cycle, as much as you can possibly have. I think the realities of some of it are some families will invest in it sooner to create some structure and then maybe not stay for the extended period of time. I've only met a handful of kids that have been here like 6 years, 5 years. We are starting to see more kids in the 3 and 4 year category, but I think you see more in the 2-year category. What I'd say to you is, like, it's like everything else. The optics of these elite level teams, like we do have a national team in men's and boys and girls basketball. You have one in football. You have one in baseball. But those numbers combined is you're talking about a couple hundred kids out of the 1,400, and the rest of them are the kids that are looking to use sport as the vehicle to get into a better school. So we see a lot of conversion out of camp, and the average age of the campers that come to, you would think like, oh, these are high school kids. They're not high school kids. The camp kids are like 12-year-old to 14-year-old kids. So we capture a lot of conversion into like the middle school or the freshman year age. And then you see quite a bit of conversion into the junior and senior level. Those kids are getting recruited, they're having success, but they want to compete in a different type of environment. They want to create structure. They want more competitive academic delivery. And naturally, they want to improve their looks, right? By being part of something that is higher profile, maybe, than where they are.